Greetings from the south rim of the Grand Canyon. It's another episode of the Cactus Atlas. On today's episode, I'm gonna go explore a section of the park that I've never been to before, which is the westernmost portion on the red line of the shuttle. It goes to, I believe, a place called Hermits Rest and has a bunch of really good scenic viewpoints of the canyon. Now, why I've never been there before is my best guess. I think it's probably because every time I've come here, I've done some massive hikes that take all day, or I only have a couple hours, so the other points that I usually go see are much more conveniently located to the front of the park. So I figured, what the heck, let's go check it out and see what it's like. Alrighty, I've parked the car and I'm right next to the shuttle stop. Got some coffee this morning. I'm ready to rock and roll here. It is the westbound Shrine of Ages. Shrine of Ages, Shrine of Ages. So this is a good tip for you if you ever want to drive to the Grand Canyon and park in the park. They do caution you, if you get here after a certain point in time in the day, a lot of these parking lots can fill up, and parking can be a pain in the butt depending on what time of the year it is. But as you can see now, parking lot A, I'm the only car in this part. Oh yes, here comes the shuttle. All right, we're heading to the Hermits Rest transfer station, so we have to catch another shuttle now. So we've gotten off the blue westbound route, once again going to the red line. So that shuttle driver was awesome. She was a wealth of information. I've learned a great deal about the red route this morning. So the big things that stick out that you probably should know is that there are 9 stops on the red route. The entire circuit takes about 80 minutes to do. That's just the driving portion. That does not include the time it takes for you to get out at different points and take a look. So she did recommend, if you're on a time frame, 3 of the most popular spots to go visit are Hopi Point, Mojave Point, and I believe Pima Point. So I'm going to focus on these 3 today. And other than that, I did get off at one extra one called Powell Point, which is going to be down this trail here. Hopi Point, though, is already visible. It should be out there. They're really close to each other. So I figured I can go and start here and then walk down to Hopi Point, then we'll probably catch another shuttle to the next point after that. One other really important thing to note about the shuttles is that the westbound routes will stop at all 9 stops, but the eastbound route going back to the Grand Canyon Village will only stop at 3 of the spots. This station, Powell Point, is one of the spots that will go eastbound. The shuttle driver also said that Powell Point and Hopi Point are really good places to go see the sunrise, because we're facing, like, that direction is facing east where the sun will rise, and you can kind of see down the canyon. So if you want to see a good sunrise here, she confirmed that this point and Powell Point and Hopi Point are the places to do it. And oh my, look at that. So already I can tell something with these points. Unlike the other places that we've visited before, you really actually get to see deeper into the canyon going that direction, rather than looking at it like, you know, straight on like this. You're actually looking west and east down in the canyon, and you can see a lot further. So that's really beautiful. And in this lighting right now in the morning, this is the way you do it. I almost wish I started a little bit earlier. And you can see these points when you get off the bus are really easy walks, very accessible. No issues there, so just about anybody should be able to really enjoy this. All right, so that was Powell Point. I'm gonna head on over to Hopi Point right down the way on foot. I also think that the red line is a very popular destination, so I would recommend starting early right now. It's not crowded at all, so pretty easy to get some good photo moments. My bigger worry is as the day gets longer, the shuttles back east can get pretty crazy. Yesterday when I hiked the Bright Angel Trail, which, by the way, if you want to see that video, I'll put a link in the description down below. I had to catch one of the eastbound shuttles back to my campsite, which I'm gonna have to take again today, and there was quite a long line. So yeah, you want to keep that in mind. Start early, you won't regret it. Plus the lighting is fantastic. It's a little bit too light already. I should have started earlier. Now, the shuttle driver did say earlier that you will be able to see the Colorado River from some of these points, which is something I've never seen from on top of the rim. I've only seen it by hiking deep down in there. So if you want to see the river, the red line is what you want to do. Now, I'm assuming this is the trail to Hopi Point. Yeah, this one's not paved, so not accessible, or easily accessible anyway. And you could see across the way over there was Powell Point, so that's where I just walked from. There you go. You can actually see the Colorado River from right here. See, I wasn't lying to you. Neat. And look, I have this whole place to myself right now. Not a single person for the moment. How awesome is that? Just me, Hopi Point, and the canyon. All right, so we're gonna head back down here, down this rocky trail. You definitely need to watch your step here as you walk. I could see some ankles getting twisted. Okay, so let's take a peek down here. I see pavement, so... Oh, there's also a little viewing deck down this way. Okay, I can already see why this is such a popular spot. Not only can you see off to the east, this thing wraps all the way around. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to see a sunrise here, I imagine this viewing deck here is probably your best bet, like looking straight down that way. Actually, this is a little bit better of a view from here than over there. You could see I was up there, so I don't think that was the official place to view. This is much better. From this point, you can really see the depth of this thing. And look, you can actually see the Colorado River again, straight ahead. Yeah, if you really want to get some good photos, maybe for Instagram or just family photos, this is the place to go. Like, this is amazing. So much better than the blue line stops. Also good to know that here at Hopi Point there are restrooms. There are not restrooms on every stop, so only a couple have restrooms, so keep that in mind. But I think I'm ready to take the shuttle back to the next point. But if you want to hoof it, you can see Mojave Point is the next point, and that is one of the ones that we're going to be stopping at. It's supposed to be another fantastic point. It looks like it is, what is that, 0.7 miles? So just shy of a mile. So far, I'd say Hopi Point has been my favorite lookout point of any in the park so far. Still have a couple more to check out, but it's going to be hard to beat that. So we'll see. All right, so the next point here is Mohave Point. There's quite the congregation of artists back there. So that must be a good sign that Mojave Point might be quite the place to get some good views. This is the direction a lot of the artists are facing. So let's see what makes this picture worthy, or painting worthy rather. So across the way over there was Hopi Point. So you can see we drove all the way around this way. And on a windy day like today, you best hold on to that hat, make sure it's on tight, because that breeze kicks up, and if that hat blows off down here, I'd say you're out one hat. Looks like you can also see the Colorado River from Mojave Point, way down there. But so far from this angle, you don't really get to see as much of the river as you could from Hopi Point. Another thing about Mohave Point that I surmise is that sunrises are probably not as good from here because of that Hopi Point, that whole rock structure obscures the east view of the Grand Canyon. So I could be wrong. If you've ever been here, let me know in the comments down below if this is a worthwhile spot for seeing the sunrise. I imagine it could be kind of cool with the sun coming up over that structure, but probably not great if you really want to see it come up over the canyon. And as all of these trails, these are nice and paved and accessible, but you do have kind of a rockier area you can walk down to if you choose to. Now the westbound view is definitely really good from Mojave Point. So I imagine Mojave Point is another contender for seeing awesome sunsets as we're facing in the westerly direction now. Oh yeah, I'd say so far out of any of the points, Mojave Point has the best view of the Colorado River, bar none. Woo! It is windy! I had to take my hat off for a moment or I'm gonna lose it. What I wanted to say is that this may be one of the best views of the western section of the canyon that I have ever seen. Hopi Point's awesome. This here has got to be the money shot for sunsets. Sun's gonna set somewhere out there, out to the west. So if you want to see a good sunset, I imagine right where I'm standing might be one of the top places to be here at the park. Head back over to this easterly facing point really quick now that folks have kind of dispersed. It's amazing the difference in the wind. Right over there, just feet away, facing that west side of this rock outcropping, the wind is just insane. I was gonna lose my hat. And over here, barely a breeze. Really weird. So out of the two viewpoints, Hopi and Mohave, which are both spectacular, it seems to me that Mohave has better views of facing west. Potentially for seeing sunsets, it might be a better place than Hopi, but Hopi's awesome too. Don't get me wrong. You get like almost just as good views in my opinion as here. But what the Hopi viewpoint offers that this doesn't is better views facing east, making Hopi probably your better bet for seeing a sunrise than Mohave. If I had time, this could be a really cool spot to try to get a time lapse of the clouds flying by as well as their shadows down below. I mean, they're moving fast now that in real time you can actually see the movement, but time-lapsing that would be fantastic, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna actually try to get the next shuttle. Since I've been here about 10, 15 minutes now, the shuttle should be due any time now. So I'm gonna go see if I can't catch it. Okay, so we were here at Mohave. I decided to skip the Abyss and Monument Creek Vista and hit Pima Point, which is supposed to be the third of the best viewpoints. Once again, Hopi, Mohave, and Pima. And I imagine the reason why is they jut out the furthest. So that's not to say anything bad about these. They looked pretty spectacular too, but since I'm on a time frame, I'm just hitting the main ones. And here's the most easterly facing part of the Pima Point, and yeah, that is beautiful. I imagine at one point, I don't know if that's Mohave over here, but I think it is. So we've come quite a ways, but yeah, getting this view here with the Colorado River down there, you could see the Whitewater Rapids, probably the best view of that I've seen yet, of rapids from up here. And you can still see the clouds, or the shadows of the clouds, moving across that landscape down there. It's very hypnotizing if you just kind of let your eyes relax and look out there. Now one thing I can see here is I imagine these places get very busy for sunset viewing, but this path here, this Pima Point, really wraps around nicely to give you the westerly views, so it seems like it has a potentially greater capacity for people, so you can be sure to get a better spot along the rail here if you want to see the sunset. Isn't that a daisy? Take a look from this overlook here. Oh you get a really nice wide view of the canyon facing west here. You can even see the Colorado like meandering further and deeper into the canyon from here. Right now the clouds are casting their shadow and they're making it a little bit more difficult to see, but spectacular. Also, you could see the Colorado River here at a couple different points also, and some whitewater rapids. Once again, I don't know if it's the time of the year, the time of day, or a combination of both, but it's very sparse over here. Got this whole viewpoint to myself again. All right, well, that completes the 3 main points that I wanted to see. So the only thing left to do is to head to Hermits Rest, the final stop. So I'm making pretty good time, I'd say. It's about 10 o'clock, so I've probably been on this tour for about 2 hours now, maybe a little less if I count for the shuttle. So we'll see how long it takes to do Hermits Rest and then take the shuttle back. And we've arrived at the final stop on the Red Shuttle Line tour. This is Hermits Rest. Also good to know here at Hermits Rest, there are quite a few more facilities, including drinking water. If you hike or you need to refill your water bottle for free, you can do that right here. Probably important to note, you do have restrooms here at Hermits Rest, which you didn't at some of the other stops. So far here, I'm just in the beginning, so this could change. We're a little bit now further west, and now there's other like points in the canyon that kind of come out. So the viewing of the canyon doesn't seem to be as good here. I think the main draw here might be the historic building and snack shop and gift shop that we're gonna see. But I don't want to belittle the views. The views are always spectacular. I just don't know if you're gonna be able to see further west down the canyon or east from here. And here's the building built with native stones from the area by Mary Coulter. This is a historic building on the National Register of Historic Places, in fact. Mary Coulter, of course, designed many of the buildings here at the Grand Canyon. Oh, wow. Wonder how old that wood is up there. This building is much more spectacular than I thought it would be. Look inside the gift shop here. Lots of Grand Canyon merch. They also have a little snack bar here if you want to get something to drink or eat. There's a menu of what they have. Candies, sandwiches, drinks, treats. Got quite a little bit of a selection here. Well, that was the end of the line, the end of the red line specifically, so it's time to catch a shuttle back. And the village transfer is what you want to get back from Hermit's Rest. All right, that's gonna do it for our tour today of the red line to Hermit's Rest. So I wanted to give a few final thoughts about what I thought. So once again, that was my first time ever having done that. I've always spent most of my time near the blue line stops or hiking trails off the blue line, and I can say that was the best in terms of views, expansive views of the canyon facing west, east. That just topped it all. So if you really want the best photos, if you want the best views, I think doing the red line is a must here at the national park anyway. I would say out of all the stops, as you saw, I didn't go to every single one, and that whole journey took over 2 hours. So you could certainly spend more time and stop at every stop, and they all look wonderful. But I did stop at the most popular views, and they did not disappoint. So next time I come, I know where I want to go. Definitely want to hit up probably Mojave for the sunset views and Hopi for the sunrise views of the canyon. There do appear to be lots of opportunities to also hoof it on foot, rent a bike. I think the whole circuit is about 7 miles long or a little bit more than that. It does take about 80 minutes for the bus to do the whole loop, including stopping, just to kind of give you an idea of how far that goes. So if you want to do it, start early for sure. because the lines and the people as the day goes on just grow and grow. But other than that, highly recommend if you come here and you have time, even if you're short on time, do the red line for the best views and best Grand Canyon experience, in my opinion. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let us know you like our content. Also, stay informed of all of our latest videos by hitting that notification bell. And of course, you can find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Cactus Atlas. Well, I gotta hit the road, get on back down to Phoenix, so we'll see you next time on a new adventure really soon. Thanks for joining us.